I know after the start to conference play, you and your staff preaching, positivity, preaching, just keep focusing on the details. It'll pay off. All the things that you do. But how much of a difference does it make when you finally do see those results on the scoreboard, just in terms of the players and their confidence moving forward? And it's not just you having to continually try to preach that to them.
Yeah, Matt, anytime you win, you feel like it went the way you had hoped. Therefore, what you had done leading up to that, maybe there's a little validation to that. Yet, I say it all the time. I'm sure it gets redundant, and you guys sit in this room and like, okay, I know what he's going to say. I'm going to continue to be committed to staying away from being outcome based. Look, you can't coach, especially at this level, if you're not dogmatically pursuant of winning the game, winning championships. You just can't. You won't survive. But when you see the guys, their commitment, their sacrifice, their pursuit of upholding a standard that has been built here, like there's a win in that. And I'm going to continue to believe that and to lead out of that. And therefore, yep, I'm glad we won. I'm glad we're 2-3 in the league now. But I will say, I think we have a really competitive group that I wouldn't put anything past because of their character and their willingness to endure what can be sometimes uncomfortable.
I believe as of today, Conference USA teams are 15-4 at home in conference games, and you certainly experienced 2 of those already in conference play. Now you prepare for 3 straight on the road. So far through your first few weeks in Conference USA, how difficult is it to win at home or win on the road and be prepared for the atmosphere that awaits?
Yeah, John, did you not get here early? Because this is the first time in 9 years. I don't think you've been in the front row. I'm a little concerned.
Well, I was here before you.
Shots fired. Shots fired. All the media people are dapping each other up.
Is it shots fired or he just?
Easy, Eddie, easy. Yeah, I think the road is a hard place to win in college basketball. Look around the country. And you see some of the shooting woes that we've experienced in some of the high major teams with Hall of Fame coaches. It happens to everyone. In a 31-game regular season, you're going to have some off nights, and probably 2 or 3 of those nights, you're nowhere close to as bad as you appear to be. And in those nights where you're making everything, you're probably not anywhere close to as good as the optics would suggest. So, but I can tell by the first 2 games in the conference on the road, the Western Kentucky environment was significant. There was a lot of people there, the most we've had in a conference road game in a while. And Louisiana Tech didn't seem as full, but you can tell when you just look up at the banners and you see Karl Malone, and there's a tradition in both of those places that is evident. Now, we've been to Jack State before. Ray Harper is the winningest coach in our league. They have a very good team. They're a different team than last year that, if you want a comparative score, which I don't think has a whole lot of significance because this year's version of the Gamecocks is way better. And Coach Harper would be the first to tell you that. And they've got some new pieces, new faces, especially in Tandy, that really make them go. So we know it'll be tough. I'm not focused yet on Las Cruces and El Paso. It's a long trip and been there before, and I think those will be challenging as well. But the game that we have next is in Jacksonville, Alabama, and that's where our focus lies.
John mentions the home records. Something else I noticed, though, when you look at the standings, is 8 of the 9 teams to this point are all separated by a game and a half. When you think about conference tournament being on a neutral floor, how important is it really just to be playing your best basketball at the end of the year? That's something we talk about a lot of times, just trying to build up to March.
Yeah, Nick, I'll say it on January 23rd or the 4th. Which one? 23rd. It matters not. Other than hanging a banner because you're conference regular season champs, matters not in this league what seed you are. Your reward is the uniform color that you wear, if that's a reward. Because you can be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll even say Middle Tennessee hasn't won yet. They're in every game. Nick McDevitt is a legit coach. Like, he's really good. And they're a good team. So when you take away the home court, the familiarity of the rims, the fan bases, there's going to be zero advantage going in other than how well your team's playing, how free-minded they are. So I want to win the conference championship. Don't mistake what I'm saying. But I think the winner of this league in the regular season will probably have anywhere from 4 to 5 losses. And just because they win or hang the banner, if they're a 1 seed and they play the winner of the 8-9 game and the 8-9 team that wins that game is hot, you can be a 1 seed and go down in the first round very easily in this league. So that's the reality, and it's going to be a 1-bid league unless somebody does something astronomical and wins the rest of their games in the regular season. I think that's our lot, but it doesn't bear a sense of carelessness for the rest of the season, because I know you want to be about what you do every day, and that's getting better in the process. But I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it matters. March 12th, 13, whatever it is, 15, 17. Those games will be really, really hard to win, and it won't matter what your seed is.
What quality did you see in your guys that allowed them to have success those last 2 home games?
Quality. Emily, I don't know if I look at it from that lens. I think I have an expectation of our guys to be pursuant of the execution that leads to what we deem as giving us a chance to get the desired result. And I guess if I had to narrow it down to one thing, I'd say I think our guys have a maturity about them emotionally that is not common with 18 to 22-year-olds. I think that speaks to their parents, the university, the support that our guys have for their individual growth and development, and I'm really proud of that. If they would have lost, I would have said the same thing, because I think that's who we are. But we might have this disadvantage or that disadvantage that you can put some numbers to, or obviously you can see visually. But we got some advantages too, and when we play to our strengths, we have a really good chance to compete for the win.
You talked before about how Joseph Van Zandt impacts winning without scoring, most notably through his defense and rebounding. Is there another player that you've coached or been around that he kind of you see him make a play or something, whether it's in practice or in a game, that you're reminded of by his play on the court?
Man, John, you're making me go back. We had such selfless, elite defenders when I was at Virginia. I think of Akil Mitchell. Malcolm Brogdon was really good. Justin Anderson was a really good defender whenever he wanted to be. I think the quality that Elijah Cuffey was a great defender. I think the quality that Joseph possesses is that he can actually impact the outcome of a game without scoring a point. I think that's rare, because he doesn't care to score. Like, he'll take what the defense gives him, but he's not seeking that opportunity. He's shooting because it's a layup, or the defense isn't playing him. And most guys who work as hard on their game as Joseph does, I want to see if my reps are manifested himself in this game in front of all these people. He could care less. He just wants to win, and he owns the defensive end like most players own their shooting prowess. Rare, incredibly rare.
You referenced the Virginia Cavaliers in what you saw there and compared some of Joseph's skills to some of the guys you coached there. What about your disposition and the way this team has handled adversity? Because Virginia was in a similar spot at the start of the year as well, where they early January were struggling and seemed to have found their form. How much did you learn from Tony Bennett, and even maybe talk to Tony Bennett, if not now during the offseason, about how to handle patches of adversity?
Yeah, I mean, I love Tony. we chat on occasion. I watch them. Obviously, I've got some really dear friends there, and feel like we're close enough where we can share vulnerably our frustrations, fears, or what and encourage one another. I think our dry patches, if you will, are relatable only from the standpoint of when the offense isn't working well or your shooting prowess is not as it's been. I think the only thing you can hang your hat on is being really good defensively, and he's elite at it. I think we're improving on that end of the floor as well. So I learned just by watching them, but we've had a chat or two about how you maybe the perspective that you see your dry land through, as well as your responsibility as a leader in those times.
I think the other night I asked Caden this. It's about just putting referencing the first 3 games to the last 2, and is it just as simple as the shots were just going in the last couple games? The quality of the shots the same? How do you see that? And then specifically with Jacksonville State, do you feel like it's just you got good looks, but they just didn't go down the first time around?
Every game is its own masterpiece. So I don't think the same Jack State game we'll play on Saturday will be like the one here, because there'll be different dynamics. Tandy is a heck of a player. He didn't need to score as much as he's used to scoring, because they had other guys. Quincy Clark played really well. Bingham, Bernie was terrific. Like he was. So and they have guys that do that. But I think we were taken out of the way we like to play, and it's our responsibility to see if we can't figure out how to to play a little bit better. But I like our shot quality, guys. Again, you only reference this when you've lost those games. But if we were 5-1 and 15-5, you guys would be asking different questions than you are now, and that's the reality of this silly game that we're in. But I feel like our group is getting better, and they're doing what we ask them to do. So if it's not enough, it's not enough. But I love our team, and I love their chances.
The bye week. Last time you played Jack State, they had basically the full week to prepare for you guys. Now the role is reversed. How much of an advantage is that?
Well, Sam Houston had a whole week to prep for us, and we won the game after a short turnaround. So I don't know how much that plays into it. I do know it gives our guys an extra day off, which, for how hard they're playing, I think that's a plus for them, not just from a physical standpoint, but mentally as well. Like, this is a long season, and the NCAA gives us so much access now. Our guys have been going since June. They had a little bit of time off 3 weeks before school started, but I think it's good to get away and be a regular college student and go do some stuff that other college students are. And most of our guys are sitting in their rooms playing the video games, but give them a day off to do so, as long as that they're as studious as a Matt Warner or an Alan York or a Bill Smith, where we're okay with that.